Guys, today I want to talk to you guys about the 5 elements of the PYP, and I'm going to start by doing a very short presentation, so bear with me. I promise I think you're going to really enjoy this, okay? So the 5 elements of the PYP. Got a question for you, and that is, can you list the 5 elements of the PYP without asking somebody else? For many of us IB teachers, we probably can, we probably know, have heard about them and know what they are, but can we really list them off one by one from the top of our heads? It is quite difficult, isn't it, for some? If you know, good for you. If not, here they are again. They're knowledge, skills, attitudes, concepts, and action. Okay, these are the 5 that we need to know, that we need to show in our classroom. We want our students to display in their everyday work. So in the classroom, they might look something like this. This is taken a few of them from my classroom. We're asked to display all of our knowledge. We also know there's 12 attitudes, and in my classroom, on one end, I will have my, the learner profiles, and on the other hand, I'll have my attitudes. And my attitudes will all look like this. And my students come in and they give out some stickers and so on, okay? And then I have on the other side what kind of attitude I'll be focusing on, and I'll mark it down with a little green dot so that the students know that's what I'm looking for. And again, it's just disconnected, okay? So on the third one, I have my concepts. I created these Angry Bird concepts to sort of make the concept a little bit more authentic. And this was done last year, so they would understand the concept of function maybe by looking at the yellow bird or whatnot. But I noticed that although they grasped the idea of a concept, they didn't really know how to connect it to everything, to this PYP thing that we're trying to teach. There's also the action wall that many of the teachers at our school have in their classrooms, and this shows the actions that students do, if you will, throughout the school year, and we want them obviously to be student-centered, and rather, instead of the teacher telling the students what to do, we want the students to act. And the last one is skills, and we know there are 5 skills. However, I've always done the skills in the planner. We've always been asked to display what kind of skills we want the students to show in that UOI. And we know that there are social skills, research skills, self-management skills, communication, and thinking. So on top of all the 5 PYP elements, you have additional 5 skills, 8 concepts, 12 attitudes, and it's really hard to wrap your head around the whole thing. And so if it's very difficult for us to wrap our heads around this thing, how difficult would it be for our students? And this is a picture that actually, for me, represents my kids up to this point. And to be honest, do you think they could make all of these connections if we teachers are struggling to? The answer is probably no. However, I think they can, and this is what I've created, and so bear with me, please. And this is my grade 3 minion. You guys probably know from Despicable Me. The reason why I chose to have a minion in my classroom is because I noticed my grade 3 students have all gone out and they saw the Despicable Me Part 2, and they write about it in their journals, and they talk about it, and they draw him everywhere, and so on. And so I thought, instead of creating a boy, I will have a minion. And so you're probably thinking, where am I going with this? Well, in this UOI, I'm asking my students, we're talking about attitudes. And one of the attitudes that I'm asking them to display for this week, is the attitude of creativity. And so what we have done here is I've created some pants, and the attitude is displayed on the minion by having him dress up in these pants, and that shows the kids that I want them to display creativity. The following week, for example, once we have discussed creativity and they've shown that they're very creative and so on, I might ask them to do appreciation, to show appreciation. And so the pants will change, and I will telling them that I'm focusing on appreciation, and I want them to display this attitude. Now, the way I introduced it is by saying that attitudes are close to our hearts. That's why they're the pants, and that's why they're the second there. One, we have our 6 UOIs. And one of the UI that we're doing right now is called How We Express Ourselves. And this is the knowledge part, and knowledge comes from books. And so I've decided to display this part on a book, and the minion then gets all of his knowledge from a book. And so obviously throughout the school year there will be 6 different books, 6 different colors, 6 different knowledge, and kids will always, when they look at him, they will always know, aha, we're learning about how we express ourselves, and obviously the attitude, what kind of attitude I decided to display the concepts on this minion on top of his head by putting them on a hat. And so now we're learning about stories, and we want our kids to tell us about the form of a story. What does a story look like? And so this is the concept, a form that our minion is going to wear. And for this week, we will only be discussing form. And here you are. There we go. So now our minion has 3 PYP elements. First one being the attitude, second one being knowledge, and the third one being concept. And it's right there. It's pretty amazing stuff. The fourth one is something, it is skills. And skills is something that we usually have in our hands. We have skills. And everybody knows of a Swiss Army knife. So we created one here for our school. And what we did is we put the 5 skills, social skills, thinking skills, communication skills, research skills, and self-management skills on a Swiss Army knife. And whatever skill I'm asking my students to display for that week or for that UOI, that's the skill that I would pull out and I would display. And that's the skill that our minion would hold. So again, that's 4 elements of the PYP in one area for our students to see. And finally, we want to have our students take action. And actually, this is something that has been on here. I forgot to take these off. You're probably wondering, why do you have these shoes? But these roller skates are meant to represent action. And it's showing that our minion is not staying in one place, that he's constantly moving and he's constantly doing something. And here you are, the 5 elements of the PYP in one area. One thing I forgot to show is if I'm done with form, the concept of form, and next week I'll be talking about perspective, for example. Change the hat to my perspective, and then the following week I might be talking about connection, and there's the concept of connection that's on there as well. So very fun, very interactive for the kids, and it's evident that instantly, almost instantly, these kids can pick up what the 5 elements are. They remember them and they reflect. I tell them to stand in front of this minion and imagine they're standing in front of a mirror, and these are the things that I want them to display in this classroom and in the school for the rest of the school year. And it's been quite successful so far, and I hope that you guys enjoyed, and thank you for listening.